This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the aggressive debt collection companies. These are companies that I have experience with on a personal level and with my business clients. And uh, when you see what these companies are willing to do, I think that you'll get an idea of what I mean by aggressive. Just to tell you from my own personal experience, uh, it's been so long ago. I always say years ago, but it's been decades. A debt collection company came, well, not a debt collection company. I had a judgment that was enforced on me from a previous business that I had owned in the 1990s. And uh, they hired one of these types of companies to come after me, and they were very aggressive. Like these companies, I'm going to show you what they can do, but if you can just look at, when I read the website, you will see that it is, when I say aggressive, that might be an understatement. But what ended up happening for me on a personal level is that they put a lot of stress in my life, and what I say now is that that was a learning experience because I've been able to help other people like yourself and my business clients be able to maneuver through these situations. But basically, what they do is they're gonna do everything to try to find your assets, and they had looked at my assets, and at that time I had started rebuilding myself from the credit problems that I had had, and had some assets, and they were going to try to, get a judge to enforce the judgment by taking my assets. It was actually a real estate that was paid off, and so I had to take action because I didn't want to let that happen. I can't tell you that the number one goal with these companies is to come to a resolution. Like a lot of times they'll pretend like they want to get all of the money and all of that stuff, but it really just like any other debt collector, um, there's always going to be a resolution. But here's one of the big problems with dealing with these types of collectors is that they're in the business of taking a big chunk of the payment that comes in. So they're not uh, wanting to do like payments over a year and that type of stuff. They want to get all of the money because they're going to probably only get to keep half or like 50, 60%. It's just depending on their agreement with the judge owner of the judgment. And so they're trying to get a big payoff. They're not trying to do something where they're going to let payments just be coming in. They're not looking at getting money that way. For my specific situation, it was over $100,000 in debt, and I ended up settling out because I did not want to lose my real estate that was valued at that time it was valued at about 150. Now it's about 300, 400,000. Ended up settling out for about 40, I think it was like $43,000 cash. Just had to just do it. Um, Learned a big lesson with that, and that helps me be able to help my business clients that might find themselves in this same type of situation. So let's look at what they're doing. So it says here, this is on their website, and this is one of the companies here. If you ever get anything from them, I want to make you aware of what they can potentially try to do to collect on that judgment. And basically, what this company does is they go out and they look for judgments that are out there, and then they contact the owner of the judgment and say, "Hey, we can get somebody to pay up on this." So they're usually looking for bigger amounts, but today what made me get to this company today was that they were actually going after someone who actually had a smaller amount. It was a little bit over, it was under $6,000, which really surprised me. They usually go for the higher ticket type debts. So it says here judgment enforcement. The way this is done is assets are located and income streams are located and judgment collection attorneys uses whatever means are available to attach assets and garnish the income. Uh, we use cutting edge technology and top line investigators to locate these income streams, locate these assets, and we use legal means to at our disposal to satisfy the judgment. Now, let me speak on this cutting edge technology that they said right here in the investigators. With the consultation that I just got off the phone with, I had notified the individual because a lot of people, they don't understand how these companies are using technology. The way that they're using this technology is they will look at your credit reports and they will figure out when you're making your payments on your mortgage, making your payments on your car, your credit cards. They're going to look at that information and they will see that, okay, they're making payments around this time. So that means that they're probably getting paid around this time, a specific time of the month. And what they're going to do with that information is they're going to go and get a court order to levy the bank account. So you can end up putting your money in or getting your paycheck direct deposited into your account, and then by law, they have to turn that money over to a company like this. And I don't want you, just like I told the individual in the consultation, to wake up in that situation one day. So if you find yourself in that situation, find yourself where you have a judgment and you've been contacted by one of these companies and they make their letters quite clear on what they are willing to do. Or you should always look up that company name on their website and you could see what type of debt collector they are. If they have anything about judgment enforcement, then you need to be very wary, worried about what they can do to you and prepare yourself so you don't have to deal with them. You got to deal with the debt, but you don't want them taking your assets or taking your money when you need to pay your mortgage or your rent. The next thing that they do with this top line investigators, this was something that I did experience. They came and they were taking pictures of one of my real estate properties that I own. And so these people are very serious. I mean, if you own a home, they'll come to your house and take pictures of it because what they're doing is they're going to try to they're going to look up and see if the asset has any type of lien on it. And if it doesn't have a lien or if it's paid off, if it's paid off, then they're going to try to take that asset in exchange for the payment. If it's not paid off, then they're going to look at putting a lien on there. But that's just another tool in their belt that they're going to utilize to try to be able to collect on the judgment. Now, I want you to look right here, and I'm going to light this up because it looks kind of hard to read. Um, they're saying it says, once we obtain the necessary information on debtors' finance, we employ various legal enforcement lawyers and methods to seize, attach, garnish the assets to satisfy the default judgment. We also work quickly in some cases to locate debtors' assets within days of taking the case. And it says here our methods include bank levies, brokerage accounts. You see that? Brokerage accounts, levies, wage garnishments, real estate, personal properties, cars, jewelry, etc., liens, levies, and sales. Obtaining money from debtor interest in partnerships, corporations, and LLCs. See, a lot of people will say, well, you're protected if you have a corporation. You're protected with an LLC or partnership is like sole proprietorship. These companies can act because you got to read what the protection is. The protection for corporation LLC is protection against something happening to you from what happens from the business. Other people that you owe money to can actually go to attach themselves to your asset of the corporation because the corporation or the LLC is an asset of you, your asset. So they can actually, go after and try to attach themselves to that. And then the next thing is combating fraudulent transfers and fraudulent bankruptcies. Now, let me speak on this here. obviously, when I ran into this situation, I I actually thought about that. I was like, let me just transfer everything. But you have to look at your state laws on transferring it. And in some states, you just cannot do it once you've been notified that they're trying to collect on it. In my state of Wisconsin, they have a 6 month transfer rule. So once you have a judgment, once they are actually suing you, you cannot transfer any property during that 6 month period, from 6 months back, or they will consider it a fraudulent transfer. I know a lot of people on YouTube, they tell you about doing that and all that stuff. I'm just telling you, my experiences that I went through with this stuff is giving you a heads up on what can be done. And so I'm telling you, be careful with that. They can still hunt that down. Fraudulent bankruptcies, we know just by what the wording on that. Filing bankruptcy when you should be filing bankruptcy. We've seen several celebrities actually end up going to prison over filing fraudulent bankruptcies. They will use subpoenas to trace transactions through various accounts where the debtor may be hiding money in their own name or the name of others. Corporate, the veil piercing, this is what I talked about just a minute ago. They can pierce the corporate veil because the corporate veil protects you if something happens with the corporation, someone is trying to sue the corporation, you are protected, but it does not protect you from the other direction, which is something that a lot of people never talk about. If you did something in the past or you're doing something on the side that is not involved with the corporation, they can pierce the corporate veil and they can go in and they can attach your percentage of the corporation. It's like they can go in there and become like an owner. That's how it works. They're taking a percentage of that. So it says here, when the debtor is attempted to hide behind illegitimate corporate entities, this is what they're able to do. And in pursuit of third parties, such as family members, business partners, who the debtor is using to hold properties or conceal properties to avoid creditors. So you can see that these types of companies are very aggressive. And if just let's just say the bottom line. Whenever you get a letter from a debt collector, this is Steve's bottom line instruction for you to do. Regardless if you contact us or not, I want you to go to the website of that creditor, especially of that debt collector, especially if it's one that you are not familiar with. And I want you to watch out for the keywords here. You see this judgment enforcement. Because when you're dealing with these types of companies, these are very aggressive. I just showed you, and you need to prepare yourself in a different way. Now let's go look at some of their testimonials here. I already gave you one on what happened with me. Uh, this was when a client owned my Spanish real estate business, a substantial sum. Oh, okay, substantial sum. See that they hire this company to go after. So it says here, lawyer agreeing to pay, would not reply to communications from her lawyer or from us. I instructed this collector here, Liebermann group, to recover the debt, and through the case, kept me fully informed. Eventually, secured court judgment upon following the transfer of total debt owing to us. Naturally, we are delighted. So they were able to get 100%. These companies are very good at doing this because they're going to put that type of pressure, and uh, because they use private investigators in the software that they use. I think what they had said right here, the technology that they use, they're really looking to do this for bigger debts. But what shocked me, so just because you don't owe something huge like this, what shocked me is that it looks like they're starting to get into this with the smaller debts. The one that I looked at today was only $5,700. So if you have an issue like this, please contact my office. You can go to my website thecreditrepairshop.com. Go to the live chat, ask your question. Don't just disregard stuff like this. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores and all of the information necessary to repair your credit. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations letter, which you should always check the legal statute of limitations for debt in your state to make sure you do have to pay a debt. Now, if it's a judgment, that's different. They have 10 years, and then they have to uh, reapply to get another 10 years, but they can come after you for a total of 20 years. Uh, but if it's not a judgment, then grab my 3-pack of letters, check statute of limitations, and then also check if it's not past legal statute of limitations, then you can send out a letter that I give you. It's a cease and desist collection activities letter, which will make the debt collector have to prove everything to come after you for that debt. And then I give you a debt validation letter just to go back and forth, just in case they still say they're going to come after you. Please post your questions and comments. It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. Thank you.